Hey guys, no intro on this video because I talked about it in the last video about the Kindle, the layout I did for the Kindle. So I'm basically using the same supplies for that. I'm using this pink and cream, I think it's white, pink and white polka dot background paper, and then I'm going to use that doily paper from the Everyday Eclectic collection from Echo Park. I don't know who made that pink and white background paper. Um, it's paper I bought well before I started keeping track of manufacturers and things like that. So I'm actually looking for a punch now, and this is a scallop punch from EK Success, and it has that little, I think it's called dotted scallop, but again, supplies in the blog because I should keep the supply list with me when I'm doing this. But I talk about all the supplies, some of them, because I certainly didn't talk about that punch at the beginning of this video. But most of the time I talk about the supplies that I think I'm going to use during the intro video. But there's no intro for this one, and I don't have the supply list right in front of me. But I think it's called Dotted Scallop by EK Success. And I'm putting a border, a punched border on this brown paper, and it looks black online, but it is actually brown. And I'm gonna use that to border. I'm going to use it as a border on both sides of that doily paper. I love that doily paper. I might have to order me a couple more sheets of that. And then I look over at the amount of paper I own and I'm like, don't you dare. You know what paper that I really love and I don't own and I can't find it anywhere is that paper from the gold dotted vellum paper from Dear Lizzie from the Fifth and Frolic collection. It didn't come in my collection pack, and I don't know what that's about, but oh my heavens, I love that paper. I see a lot of people using it lately, and Scrapbook.com has it, but there's nothing else they have that I want, and I don't want to pay for shipping on one piece of paper. So hopefully maybe 2Ps will get it back in stock. I'm not sure. So I'm going to take some pink Memento ink here. It's a Versa Magic, and I'm just using my, that is my supply list right there. You just saw it. Just to add a little bit of pink to each of these doilies on this paper. It's very subtle, even in the final layout in person. That pink element on those doilies is pretty subtle, but it does give a nice detail. And that's my mind's eye stamp set there with the doilies. I'm just using two different color pinks so that one's a little bit darker than the other on the two different doily shapes, just to give it some, give it another design element, because this is actually going to be a pretty simple layout. Now I'm looking for a journaling card, and I went back to those Jenny Bolin. This project is very white. Like it's not a cream, it's a white base. So I went back to those Jenny Bolin cards, journaling cards, and picked one of them because they worked better with this layout than they did the last one. And then you saw me lay the picture down and then mark on that journaling card where the picture was going to lay, because I knew I wanted them overlapping, and I just put that pencil mark there so I knew how far over to the right of that journaling card I could write. So squeeze it all in there at the end, erase the pencil mark, and then I'm going to lay them out like that. And now I'm just thinking about what else I should do. And so I'm just going to take this little doily that came in that stamp set and then just randomly put some pink flower looking, oh, it's a doily, it's not really a flower, but just put some of that pink color up in random polka dots. I try to think of ways to give the layout interest when it is very simple like this. So that's why I'm using this doily punch in some of those circles, some of those polka dots, because it is, like I said, it's a very simple layout. So I was really trying to find a way to give it some interest. So I was thinking about using one of those tags from the Hello, that's Dear Lizzie, Fifth and Frolic, those tags. And I'm just going through and looking at some embellishments to see what I'm going to use on this layout. And I thought that I was going to use this doily sticker from my mind's eye. And it ends up that I feel like it's competing with the doily paper behind it, so I don't end up using it. I'll eventually pull that back off. And I thought that the doily was too big to put, you know, a lot of times if I cut a doily in half, I'll put one in the upper right and one in the bottom left or vice versa. And I just thought that that doily was too big and the photo was too small to, and I actually got that photo from a website. It's not my photo. I'm scrapping a story about this, the challenge today was to scrapbook a mistake that turned out to be a good thing. And one year for Christmas, I made I don't know how many different types of cookies, and I made all the dough ahead of time and then stored them in the fridge. And for some reason, I pulled the ginger cookie dough out when I made the Hershey Kiss cookies and used the ginger dough with the Hershey Kisses. And I was like, oh no, what, you know. And then I was like, well, I'll just, you know, serve them anyway. And everyone liked them. I made them for 3 years in a row after that. So it turned out to be a really good thing. So I used some lace wash, pink washi tape on the borders. And again, trying to think of other things to add some interest to the layout. So again, I go back to this doily sheet. And this one works a little bit better. It's not as dark as that larger doily, and it doesn't bring in that yellow that was in that other doily, so it works much better. So I used a smaller one in the lower left and a larger one in the upper right. And then here's some chipboard and some die cut pieces from Fifth and Frolic by Dear Lizzie for American Crafts. And I'm going to use these arrows, and I have two sets of those chipboard shapes. I bought one initially, and then I got one in a kit. So the chipboard shapes, I have two sets of those, and then the die cut shapes. So I used a little die cut chipboard, no, it's not, a die cut clipboard up there in the upper right hand corner, and it says keep things simple or keep it simple, something like that. And then just pulling apart those other things, and I keep them all together in a little baggie. So laying those, I used a little ticket down there in the lower lower left hand corner, just to ground that arrow a bit. So I like where those arrows are laying, and there's really like 4 embellishment clusters on this layout, which is not something I typically do, but I didn't think that because it was so simple, I didn't think it was that big of an issue. And I'm off looking for letter stickers right now, that's where I am. I probably should have cut this all out because, but I mean, when I finished rendering this video, it was 10 minutes long, so I didn't feel like there was really a whole. I thought I went to get letter stickers. Okay, I really don't know what I was off doing. So I'm going to put these arrows up on some foam adhesive to give the layout a little bit of depth. Oh, I thought I would put that one up too, but I didn't. I put the other two arrows flat against the paper, and that one Oh, I pulled the letters from there's a box I keep underneath my desk with, it's a very sort of, I have a very strange organizing style, I think. So there's a box of things that sits under my desk, and these letters were in it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a very strange thing. But I can find everything I'm looking for, so I guess it works. And so the title for this layout is going to be Delicious Mistake. I'm using these Bella Boulevard Sophisticate letters to spell that out. And that Sophisticate thing comes with 5 different fonts, all in pink. They're all different shades of pink. So I use the bottom one for the mistake and then the smaller font for delicious. And then I'm going to add, I went and looked for some enamel dots, and I'm going to look through these labels. I keep all my like Jenny Bolin or Jelly Bean Soup, and who else? My Mind's Eye makes them too. I keep them all on that binder ring. And then was like, nope, that doesn't work. So, I mean, this layout's looking really simple to me, so. And these two letters say imperfectly perfect. Or perfectly imperfect. Yeah, perfectly imperfect, which I thought was great for this layout. And then I'm just looking, I have this little bin of like what I call word stickers. So I just flip through it, looking for words that'll match the layout. And obviously that one didn't work. So just adding some more words. And then it just comes to the point where I'm like, you know what? It's done. Add that final word down there, and then I'm going to add these enamel dots. And this is from this, I think it's from Collectible or the Sweetest Thing from My Mind's Eye. Maybe it's Collectible. And a few of those, and the layout's going to be finished. Just like that. And here's a picture of the final layout right there. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me any comments or questions you have down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.